Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. I have been I've been doing some research on Mr. Robert Kelly Obert. He is the new CEO at Boeing. He was chosen by Mr. Stephen Mollenkopf. He's the chair of the board. They were looking for a replacement. I put in a 42-page document, 11 letters of recommendation. The CEO wasn't really the position that I was going for, but that was part of it, but also the head of quality. I want to let you know about his background though first, because here it is. His title is Chair of the Board, Boeing Director since 2020, Independent Chair 2024 to present. And he was the guy spearheading who was going to be the next CEO. Now, he received my package. I got the return card request. We sent it out to the 11 board members, and whether it's CEO or head of quality. And if they do not get me on board of quality, I will say this: be prepared. There's going to be another tragedy, because the title of this video is Jim Cramer, the guy who does all the stocks and all the rest of the stuff. Jim Cramer praises Boeing's new CEO as a hands-on operator. I've been saying that from the very beginning. You have to roll up your sleeves, ladies and gentlemen, when you're dealing with aerospace. You have to go down on the floor no matter what your position is. The higher on the ladder you are, the more important your presentation is on the floor by your employees, not on the golf course. So here's his background. Special Advisor Qualcomm Incorporated in 2021 to 2022. CEO Qualcomm Incorporated in 2014 to 2021. ANSI ANAP IAF China took over the International Accreditation Forum Incorporated in Delaware. It was founded by ANSI. And ANSI and ANAP are underwriters for the IAF and its sister organization, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation Incorporated in Australia. So he was already infiltrated with communist China. If you look in the background, you find quality faux pas at his organization. All right, in every anything that is looked over by ANSI ANAB, you're going to have issues. Furthermore, he was a CEO elect and president of Qualcomm Incorporated 2013 to 2014, president and COO of Qualcomm Incorporated 2011 to 2013. The reason why I do this is because Qualcomm sits on ANSI ANAB's board. As I've showed you time and time again, Boeing mandates ANSI ANAB. Boeing mandates it. They mandated it on their supplier bulletin in 2002. They mandated it on their supplier portal. And it says ANSI ANAB, their third-party register. ANSI ANAB are internationally equivalent. Could be Iran, Pakistan, etc., China. And then they sit on the board of ANSI ANAB that can grant, suspend, and take away the certification. Now you have the Department of Homeland Security that I stood up with back in April of this year. And you can see me over there on the side, which is right over here. And then you have Sam Salipar right over here on this side. And I was supporting him because what he was saying was true about design issues. What I have something worse, that Boeing was made an FAA regulator. That means they are an FAA. They're the agency. So that means every one of their CEOs from 2009 to 2019 were basically administrators for the FAA. I know you're laughing about, he doesn't know what he's saying. Well, let me tell you something. When the FAA made Boeing employees FAA inspectors, they gave up all design. They gave up the MCAS system. Did not have to be told to the FAA because Boeing is an agency, FAA, and they're trying to BS you. So, again, this video is about Jim Cramer praises Boeing new CEO as a hands-on operator who will be good for the stock. QA expert Daryl Guberman explains. Well, I think if you really look at his background, I don't know if Steve, let me ask you, Steve, did you do any background check on this guy? Or was he at the dinner table with you? What is it? I have to ask you, because here he is. He came, I'm actually the first one giving him an interview. Well, I don't need to give him an interview. I'm glad he stopped in. But I'm going to say this, the Collins, where he's from, Also, Clay Jones started the process, from what we gather, with the MCAS system, the technology there that caused the Ethiopian and Indonesian airplanes to crash. They did not have to tell, Boeing did not have to tell the aerospace industry, they did not have to tell any of the pilots, the airlines, that they put this system in. And I'm going to say this. This came right off the article from Far from the Spotlight, a Boeing partner feels the heat. Now, behind the scenes, scrutiny of the accidents, Ethiopian Air and Indonesian Air, has extended beyond the troubled aircraft manufacturer, Boeing, to a partner in the MAX's development, Collins Aerospace. The company provided the software blamed in both crashes and built the plane's flight deck systems. Congressional investigators and lawyers representing family members of some of the 346 crash victims are asking what Collins knew about Max's problems and when. And the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, the problems is about the crash victims. I told you again, your lawyer, the American Bar Association is deeply involved with ANSI ANAP. You have the Department of Justice with Merrick Garland. They're deeply involved. And most recently, the DOJ fined Boeing $250 million. Let me just say, I have to laugh because the DOJ sits on ANSI ANAP, the accreditation body that Boeing uses for all their suppliers and subcontractors, mandated. And they call it voluntary consensus standards, the bullshitters at ANSI ANAP. And they are. So I'm just letting you know, this is a short video. Stephen, I think you made a very poor choice, but look, your organization, Qualcomm, sat on ANSI ANAP's board, and when you sit on that, you have failure. Look at Boeing. Boeing skipped quality processes and standards, okay? They fudged documentation in 2017, and most recently, their composite facility, V-22, and Boeing, the Boeing Bell V-22 composite facility in, oh my God, in Pennsylvania, got caught for 11 years not writing the proper times and temperatures on the autoclave cycles. 8.1 million. In 2017, they got caught finally by the FAA, which sits by Boeing on ANSI ANAP's board, for fudging documentation along with their steel supplier, Kobe Steel. So, Stephen, that is what type of organization you're running with a guy who supplied. Here's the old guy. This guy over here. He's happy. He's done. But this guy is the one to really take to task. It is like what I have told you in the past, ladies and gentlemen, business owners, my fellow citizens. You have Jim McKerney here. You have Dennis Muhlenberg. You have David Calhoun. Jim McKerney is the one that started the 737 MAX program. And Dennis Muhlenberg had to be the fall guy along with David Calhoun. If you think for a moment that this guy is going to be hands-on, he's already starting out in the back, because if it's truly real, from what I'm gathering from this article about the MCAS system and his affiliation with Collins since 1987, up until the time he retired as the CEO, there is something wrong with Boeing's management's choice, and I leave it here. My telephone number is 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS @yahoo.com. And remember this again from Dwight D. Eisenhower, is not the size of the dog in the fight that counts. It's the size of the fight in the dog. I thank you.